chance that things will change. China also won their respective match against Uzbekistan. What a clash that was. And right now, this is what we have. India versus Slovenia for all the marbles, and China versus the United States.
Yeah, we did get fantastic pairings for the last rounds with the United States, who had a bit of a sluggish start, finally catching up. They played India yesterday. They are playing China today. Very good to see them up there because I think it adds a lot of spice to the final rounds pairings. India, of course, are in a very comfortable position. A draw immediately wins them the Olympiad, and I would guess in most cases, even losing by a small margin will be okay. But of course, they don't want to spoil their Olympiad by losing in the last round. That would put some shine off of their achievement. And on paper, they're obviously massive favorites today. Slovenia has been a sensation in the last few rounds. They beat Norway with Vladimir Filiseev beating Magnus with the black pieces on board one. Yesterday, they beat a very, very strong Dutch squad. They are in clear third right now, which is
amazing, yes.
a fantastic result for a country which has very good chess traditions, I mean, the entire region has very, very good chess traditions, of course. But I don't think they've ever been this high. But this Indian team is very, very scary.
And we also have to talk about the women's section. I mean, what a tournament that is and how competitive it is going into the final round. We see this one, a big clash between one of the leaders, Kazakhstan, against the United States. United States have been surging through the rankings. Important victories against India and yesterday against Ukraine. Big clash that was.
And in the women's section, it really is anybody's game. We have a tie for first there between India and Kazakhstan, and then two teams on 16, two very strong teams. The United States is on 16 points, and Poland is on 16 points. And then there's a group of teams on 15 who are probably fighting for bronze, frankly. I don't think teams which are currently on 15 in the women's section are fighting for gold or silver, but bronze is still very much within their grasp if we have decisive result. Yeah, thanks for that, whoever that person is.
We had a nice scam. Now we don't.
Yep.
Yes, somebody is closing our camera right now. Actually, cameras are quite visible in the plane. Okay, now.
Yeah, that is better.
It's a beautiful T-shirt indeed, but here we go. First move in the women's section, a game between Bibisara Asabuyeva and Gulrukhbegim Tohirjanova. Wait, there's two moves.
Two-handed, C4 and knight C3.
Oh my goodness, what is that? That's the first time I'm seeing it.
Oh, just C4, but with two hands.
Just one move with two hands.
Yeah, made by Dr. Esther Vitalius, we think, Secretary of State responsible for government communication. No, that's maybe...
That was Jose Antonio Carrillo, president of the Confederation of Chess for Americas, and Dana Resnitska was Ola FIDE Management Board Deputy Chair and FIDE Olympiad 2024 team lead. So she's the boss around here.
Yeah, in charge of making the show run smoothly. And for the most part, I think it did run very, very smoothly.
Oh, yes.
Although, and being on the official FIDE channel, this will feel slightly contrarian or whatever the adjective you may choose to use. But I do want to say, shifting the time for the last round 4 hours is a bit too much.
That's a lot.
Is a bit too much. All of us understand the need for the closing ceremony to happen on the same day and the organizational challenges involved with that. But this is the premier team event of the year, of 2 years, arguably. And putting players at such a disadvantage for the last round, I feel kind of this consideration has to take precedence. As much as a spectacle as the closing ceremony is, last round is still more important. And
we're off. And what's happening in the open section? Did we have the first ceremonial move right now? Perhaps we can see that as well.
Yeah. It's been and gone.
Yeah. I see the media already swarming the players right now. Slovenia versus India in that match. But here we go. C4, knight to F6 is the first sequence of moves in the game between Bibisara and Begim. And this is, by the way, on paper, it's a very close match.
Yeah.
Sure, Probably Kazakhstan is favorite on board one. Obviously, Bibisara at
But elsewhere, yeah.
24.80 against 23.80, 100 rating points difference. But we've seen Begim even be around 24.50 in previous years. So definitely a close matchup. And everywhere else, as you can see, the ratings are, in fact, favoring the United States.
Yeah, and despite Carissa Yip and Alice Lee being still very, very young, it feels like they maybe even have a slight advantage in experience. They've been playing top-level chess for quite some time already. And
These are two very young teams. I think it's a good idea to point that out. Outside of Irina Krush, who obviously brings experience at the top level to Team USA, everybody else is 25 and down.
yeah, and I think Alwan Norman is 17. Alice Lee, I think, is even younger than that.
Alice Lee is 15, I think.
Yeah,
Maybe
so-
14 or 15.
So that is a very, very young matchup, and a very exciting one, obviously, with the US now very much with a shot of potentially even gold. I don't know exactly how the tiebreaks work out, but if the US wins against Kazakhstan and India draws their match, they will be tied on 18 points, and who knows what the tiebreaks will bring.
Yes, yes, absolutely. No, it's it's a big one. It's definitely a big one. And we see E5. Okay,
Yeah, the C4, E5, and then
it's a
the four
reverse
knights.
Sicilian type
Yeah.
of situation. Knight to C6. What
Obviously,
are we expecting? What do you know about this line, Peter? You've probably analyzed recently this position. What are the new trends in this one?
I think in terms of like properly new trends, I think a lot of people have begun playing G2, G3 here, actually intending to play the reverse Sicilian, because I mean all of this can be argued is the reverse Sicilian, but variations like G3, they do still, like you still immediately recognize this as an English, whereas this kind of a modern trend to play D3 and then mid D5 with takes and E2, E4. This really does feel like you're just trying to play a Sicilian with an extra tempo. It no longer really feels like you know, doing anything as the holder of the white pieces. But you know, obviously a lot of moves are possible here. A3 is playable, E3 is very much playable, and people have been trying to breathe new life into E3. But G3 remains the main move here. And of course, E2, E4 at some point became very, very popular, but I don't know if this is something Bibisara intends to do today.
Let's see what's happening in the other games in this match. And we will be spending quite some time in the women's section
yeah.
today because it is very competitive still. We know that India has a great chance to clinch the title in today's round. Mathematically, they haven't yet, but a lot of people think that, you know, there's a minuscule chance of anybody else catching up with that.
To check the pairings for the women's section, just to see the other matches.
Absolutely. Maybe we should start with the standings first.
Yes, maybe.
See them on the screen.
Exactly. So India and Kazakhstan are leading. They're tied for the first place, and then we have also the tie for the third place. United States and Poland are on the screens, and a big tie for the fifth: Spain, Romania, Georgia, Hungary, Azerbaijan.
The home country
with
actually
15
doing quite well
points,
in both
yes.
tournaments. Yeah, still
Which
very
is
much
impressive.
with a shot at medals, playing as usual on their board 2 of the women's competition. And these are the pairings. Yeah, Kazakhstan playing the United States, Hungary, Spain on board 2. India has basically run out of opponents, so they go some way down to find a position in a very experienced, very good team of Azerbaijan. Poland, Georgia is a fantastic pairing. For round 11, this is not a pairing you would expect. You would have expected them to have played earlier. These are two very, very strong teams.
But still, Georgia gets chance actually by beating Poland to kick out them from the podium perhaps and get the place there.
Yeah, I think if Georgia wins, they have a very good shot at third at least.